We're reading in Book 6, the Book of Fate, Canto 1, the Word of Fate. This is in the story part of the poem. This tells of the time when Savitri returns. It's page 431. Returns to her father's palace to share the happy news that she has met Shraddhavan. He is the person she wants to marry. And when she comes there, Narad is there, this very special being who travels between the heavens and earth, and he has the power of seeing the past and the present and the future. So when he is asked to give his blessing, naturally the parents ask him to give his blessing. At first he hesitates, and then finally the queen says, if there's something wrong with this marriage, please tell us. The truth is best, however hard to bear. And Narad reveals that, first of all, he says what a wonderful being Shraddhavan is, a remarkable, outstanding being, in every way fit to be the husband of Savitri, except that he is doomed to die exactly 12 months from this very day. So last time we read the way that the queen, Savitri's mother, has reacted to this. She immediately says, Savitri, you have made a mistake. You'll have to go traveling again and find somebody else. And then this is what she says next to Savitri. I'm at the next to the last line from the bottom of page 431. Plead not thy choice, for death has made it vain. Thy youth and radiance were not born to lie, a casket void dropped on a careless soil. A choice less rare may call a happier fate. But Savitri answered from her violent heart. Her voice was calm, her face was fixed like steel. Once my heart chose, and chooses not again. The word I have spoken can never be erased. It is written in the record book of God. The truth once uttered, from the earth's air effaced, by mind forgotten, sounds immortally forever in the memory of time. Once the dice fall, thrown by the hand of fate in an eternal moment of the gods. My heart has sealed its troth to Shraddhavan. Its signature adverse fate cannot efface. Its seal not fate, nor death, nor time dissolve. Those who shall part, who have grown one being within. Death's grip can break our bodies, not our souls. If death take him, I too know how to die. Let fate do with me what she will or can. I am stronger than death and greater than my fate. My love shall outlast the world. Doom falls from me, helpless against my immortality. Fate's law may change, but not my spirit's will. An adamant will, she cast her speech like bronze. But in the Queen's mind, listening, her words rang like the voice of a self-chosen doom, denying every issue of escape. To her own despair, answer the mother made. As one she cried, who in her heavy heart labors amid the sobbing of her hopes, to wake a note of help from sadder strings. O child, in the magnificence of thy soul, dwelling on the border of a greater world, and dazzled by thy superhuman thoughts, thou lendst eternity to a mortal hope. Here on this mutable and ignorant earth, who is the lover and who is the friend? All passes here, nothing remains the same. None is for any on this transient globe. He whom thou lovest now, a stranger came, and into a far strangeness shall depart. His moments part, once done upon life's stage, which for a time was given him from within. To other scenes he moves, and other players, and laughs and weeps mid faces new, unknown. The body thou hast loved is cast away amidst the brute, unchanging stuff of worlds, to indifferent, mighty nature, and becomes crude matter for the joy of others' lives. But for our souls, upon the wheel of God, forever turning, they arrive and go, married and sundered in the magic round of the great dancer of the boundless dance. So we'll go back to the bottom of page 431 and look at things sentence by sentence. You could begin, Edita.
Not thy choice, for death had made it win. Thy youth and radiance were not born to life. A casket void dropped on a careless soil. A choice less rare may call a happier fate.
Yes. So she's asking Savitri to go and travel the world and choose again. And she anticipates opposition. She says, don't plead your choice, don't argue with me, don't plead for this choice that you have made, because Narad says this boy is going to die. So your choice has been cancelled out, or it's been made useless by death. Well, he said, you're so young and so beautiful. You were not born to lie a casket void, dropped on a careless soil. As if when Satyavan dies, Savitri herself, as a widow, she'll be like a beautiful box maybe, but it's empty and it's just been thrown away, dropped onto this empty soil that doesn't care how beautiful it is. So Narad had told what a very, very special being Satyavan is. So her mother says, a choice less rare. If you choose somebody who's not so outstanding and marvelous, that may bring you a happier fate.
But Savitri answered from her violent heart. Her voice was calm, her face was fixed like steel. Once my heart chooses not again. The word I have spoken can never be erased. It is written in the record book of God.
Yes. So here Sri Aurobindo speaks about Savitri's violent heart. Perhaps this is the only place where he uses this word. He speaks about her silence, her calm, her sweetness, her strength, and often he speaks about her passion, the intensity of her being. And now she has to defend something, that intensity that is in her heart. It becomes, there's a revolt, a rebellion. She's not going to accept what she's been told to do. But still her voice is calm, her face is fixed like steel. She's absolutely determined. And very clearly she says, my heart has chosen once and it can't choose again. And she says, this word that I've spoken, this word that I have spoken to Satyavan and promised to be his partner, this can never be erased. You know what an eraser is, no? That we use to rub something out. This word, it can't be rubbed out. Because it's written in the record book of God. And she says, if once the truth has been spoken, really spoken, even if, of course, when we speak words, after some time we don't hear them anymore. They are effaced, they are wiped out from this earth air. They may be forgotten even by the mind, but those words of truth, that expression of truth, goes on vibrating, sounding immortally, forever in the memory of time. It's a very powerful statement. Bärbel.
Once the dice fall thrown by the hand of fate in an eternal moment of the gods. My heart has sealed its truth to Savitri. Its signature, otherwise fate, cannot efface. Its seal not fade, nor does nor time dissolve.
Yes, thank you. So if something is happening by destiny, it's as if the gods, the higher powers, are playing at dice, and once the dice have rolled and the result is known, no, that can't be changed. So if fate has thrown the dice like that and it has fallen this way, that Savitri and Satyavan have to meet, no, that only happens once in that eternal moment of the gods beyond time. So she says something like that has happened. It's not only that she's met Satyavan and agreed to marry him. Her heart has chosen him, her soul has chosen him. She says, my heart has sealed its troth to Satyavan. Sealing your troth is what you do when you promise to marry somebody. You become betrothed. You become engaged, fiancé, they say in French, no? So she says, this is my heart has chosen him, I am committed to him, I can't change that. The signature of my heart, it can't be wiped out, cancelled out by just because fate, destiny, seems to be adverse, that something bad is going to happen. The choice has been made. Whatever has to happen will have to happen. No? The seal that she has, the promise that she's given to Satyavan, not fate, nor death, nor time can dissolve it. It's an eternal commitment. Bhavana.
Those who shall part, who have grown one being within. Death's grip can break our bodies, not our souls. If death take him, I too know how to die.
Thank you. So, here we have to look at we have to change around the order of the words. It's remarkable how that Sri Aurobindo doesn't do that very often. In poetry it happens a lot that the poets play with the orders of the words. They have the freedom to do that, but Sri Aurobindo doesn't do it very often. But here we have to read it, who shall part those who have grown one being within? If two people have met and they've really married, they have become one being, their souls have united, who can separate them? Those who shall part, who have grown one being within. And then she says very high words. She says, the grip, the hand of death can break our bodies, but not our souls. And she says, if death take him, I too know how to die. In our careless modern speech, we would say, if death takes him. But if we are really correct in our grammar, because there's an if there, the verb takes what we call the conditional form, and that doesn't have the S. If death take him, if that happens, I too will be able to die.
Will you please explain this sentence? Who shall part those who have grown one being within? So they have become one.
They have, yes, their souls have united, become one. So how can anybody separate them? Perhaps physically they may be separated, perhaps death may separate them, but they've become one being within. So that one being, she says, will persist and continue. Would you like to read it?
Let fate do with me what she will or can. I am stronger than death and greater than my fate. My love shall outlast the world. Doom falls from me, helpless against my immortality.
You can read the next line as well.
Fate's law may change, but not my spirit's will.
Yes. So she's very young and she's very courageous, and she says, let fate do with me what she will, whatever she wants, or what she can. She may not be able to do everything that she wants. She is fate, no? Because I am stronger than death and greater than my fate. This is very clear, no? That my love is going to last longer than the world. And doom, disaster, it just falls away from me. It can't affect me. It's helpless against my knowledge that I am immortal, that I have an immortal soul. And then she says, perhaps this law of destiny, that may change, but the will of my spirit is not going to change. So these are words coming from her higher being. No? She says this before she's even begun to do yoga. She has this strong conviction in her. Sergei?
Then Auroville shook out her speech like rose, but in the queen's mind, listening her words, rang like the voice of a self-chosen doom, denying every issue of escape.
Adamant is diamond. It's the hardest substance that there is. And if somebody is adamant, you are not going to make them change their mind. So her will is like that, hard, fixed. And her speech, she's expressing her speech also in a very firm, clear way, like somebody who is casting a statue out of bronze. And when we cast something in bronze, then it's going to last a long time. It won't spoil easily. But her mother, when she hears her, in the mind of her, the queen, her mind is listening to those words of Savitri. Those words of Savitri sound like, they ring like the voice of a self-chosen doom. That Savitri is deliberately choosing an unfortunate fate. No? And if she insists on choosing that, then every possibility of escape from this unhappy situation is denied. It won't be allowed. No. So then we have quite a long speech from the mother, the queen. It continues up to the page, up to the top of page 35. Mahalingam.
To her own despair answered the mother maid, as one she cried, who in a heavy heart labored amid the sobbing of her horse, to wake a note of help from saddest tombs.
Yes, thank you. So the mother responds to her own feelings of despair. No? And Sri Aurobindo expresses it in a very moving way. He says, people who are unhappy, sometimes they try to awaken sympathy and help by complaining, no? by expressing that sadness. No? So the mother cries out. She cries out like one who, in her own heavy heart, she's struggling, she's trying amid the sobbing of her hopes. All her hopes have been shattered now her hopes of a happy life for her daughter. All those hopes are weeping there. But she's trying to wake up a note of help from even sadder strings, as if she's playing on her heartstrings like on a musical instrument. If she expresses it even more sadly, then perhaps some help will come. That's, yeah. So what does she say? Would you like to read? Yes.
But child, in the magnificence of thy soul, dwelling on the border of a greater world, endowed by thy superhuman source, thou lends eternity to immortal hope.
Yes, she says, look, daughter, you have a beautiful soul, magnificent soul, and your mind is dwelling in thought on the border of a greater world than this earthly world. So you're dazzled by those thoughts that come to you from there, superhuman thoughts. And here you are giving, you're talking about a mortal hope for happiness here on earth with a good husband. You're talking about it as if this will be something eternal. You are lending eternity to a mortal hope. This is the hope that we have for happiness on this earth. It's not right to think that it has an eternal significance. Is it clear? Dazzled? It means when you can't see clearly. There's so much light that you can't see clearly. It happens when we drive in the night, and there's somebody coming full at us with his headlights, then we can't see, we are dazzled. So those superhuman thoughts, you can't see clearly. You are doing something which can't be done. You are lending eternity to a mortal hope. Alexei?
Here on this mutable and ignorant earth, who's the lover and who's the friend? All passes here, nothing remains the same. None is for any of this transient globe.
Yes, she's speaking about the transience of everything here. Everything changes, everything dies. Here on this mutable earth, here everything is changing, mutable. What is immutable doesn't change, it remains always the same. And this earth is ignorant, so we don't know anything. Who is the lover and who is the friend? We may think this person is a true lover, and then we find out that after all he isn't. We think this person is our friend, and then they disappoint us. Everything here that we trust in, it all passes away. Everything lets us down. Nothing remains the same. And here on this transient globe, this earth where everything passes and changes, no one is for any. Everybody's standing for themselves. Nobody is really living for anybody else. This is a hard way of looking at the truth of our earthly lives. Joel.
He whom thou lovest now, a stranger came, and into a far strangeness shall depart. His moments part, once done, upon life's stage, which for a time was given him from within. To other scenes he moves, and other players, and laughs and weeps meet faces new, unknown.
Yes. So now you love Satyavan, but you didn't know him before. He came to you as a stranger. And when he dies, he will be going away into a far strangeness. You don't know what will happen there. And she gives this image that we are all just like actors in a theatre play, on a stage. And we are given a part, and we just have to play that part, and then we will leave the stage and we'll resume our life and do all kinds of other things that are not part of the drama on the stage. So she says, if once he has played his part, his short part, his moment's part, on this stage of life, that part has been given to him from within for a time, but when it's once done, he will move on to other scenes, not this earth, other worlds, and he will meet other players, other actors, and he will laugh and weep amongst other faces, new faces that he didn't know before. Alice, you would read?
The body thou hast loved is cast away amid the brute, unchanging stuff of worlds. To indifferent, mighty nature and becomes crude matter for the joy of others' lives.
So this is a truth about our bodies, no? When we die, the body gets cast away. Satyavan's body will get cast away, and it will be dissolved into this stuff, this matter, this brute, unchanging stuff of worlds. The body will be dissolved into its elements and given to nature, who doesn't care about lovers, anything like that. And those elements which have been in Satyavan's body will be used for other bodies, will become the crude matter, the basis for the joy of others' lives. Not Savitri and Satyavan, completely different people you don't know anything about and who don't know anything about you. Gomsun?
But for our souls, open the field of God. For ever turning, they arrive and go, married and sundered in the magic round of the great dancer of the boundless dance.
So that's what happens to our bodies, no? It gets cast away, it gets dissolved, it gets the elements of the body get reused. But for our souls, they don't die. They continue on this wheel of God, going round and round, being born and reborn, no? So they arrive here on earth and then they go away again. They're always turning on that wheel. And in that play and turning of the wheel, they meet, they marry other souls, and then they get sundered, they get separated. In this magic round, this of the great dancer of the boundless dance. Here in South India we have this wonderful image of Shiva dancing, no? There he's always dancing, supporting with his dance all this movement. And so the souls are coming and going. He is the great dancer of the boundless dance, the unending dance. Leila?
Our emotions are but high and dark notes of his wild music, changed compellingly by the passionate movements of the seeking heart in the inconstant links of our rhythm.
Not an easy sentence to understand, no? Our emotions, our feelings are notes in the music of that dance, that boundless dance. They are high notes. They stand out from the general music, but they don't last very long. They die away. They are intense and beautiful while they last, but they don't last long. They are notes of that wild music of that dancer, the great dancer. And the music is changing. It's changed compellingly. The music is always changing. It's changing because of the passionate movements of a seeking heart, a heart with a capital H. So this is not the individual heart of anybody. This is the universal heart of that great dancer who, as he's dancing, he wants the music to change. And because of his wish, it changes. No? So from time to time, it changes. The passionate movements are doing that changing in the inconstant links of hour with hour. As the chain of time passes on, so the music changes. So our emotions are inconstant. They are not fixed. They don't live eternally, our feelings. They come and they go. Yes, Tamara, yeah.
To God, the heavens, distant, answering song, once sang.
No, then there's another line, to cry.
To cry, to answer is all we do. Once we lost the
Heavenly.
Music seems too near the right
Rhythmic.
cry has failed, all failed, all sweetnesses, all
Baffling.
Once heard.
Here. All sweetnesses are baffling symbols here. So because that music is always changing, we can aspire to call down some distant response, some distant music from heaven. And we can call out, we can cry out to that bliss, but we can't hold it. We can call out to an unceased bliss, but that's all we can dare. We can't do more than that. If we catch hold of that music, it loses its significance and its sense. And if it comes too near to us, we can aspire for it somewhere else, but if it comes too near to us, we find that beautiful rhythm and harmony has just fled, escaped, gone. We can't catch it. All sweetnesses, every kind of sweetness that we taste and we want more. No? They're all only baffling symbols. They are signs of something, but they are baffling. We can't grasp them or understand them or seize them or enjoy them for long. The Queen says that's how it is here in our world.
Love dies before the lover in our breast. Our joys are perfumes in a brittle vase.
Continue.
Oh, then what wreck is this upon time's sea, to spread life's sails to the hurricane desire, and call for pilot, the unseeing heart.
So it's unfortunately true that here in our human relationships, love often dies before the person that we love. No? It dies in our breast. Our joys, our happinesses, they're like fragrances that are kept in a vase, a container, which very easily breaks. Something that's brittle, easily it can break. You know? So because it's like that, she says, what a disaster, what a wreck, when a ship gets wrecked in the sea, no? What a wreck is this upon time's sea, if you are going to spread the sails of life. When there's a storm, the sailors take down the sails, no? But if you are going to spread the sails, when there's a hurricane going on, then there will be a wreck, no? And what is desire? What is this strong feelings of our human heart? What is it? It's just like a hurricane, sweeps you away, no? And if the only pilot that you're going to follow, the pilot is the one who has to guide the ship or the plane or whatever, no? If you give the piloting of your life to the unseeing heart, our ignorant heart, that gets blown away by desire, then there's sure to be a wreck. That's what the wise mother says.
O child, will thou proclaim, wilt thou then follow against the law, that is the eternal will, their
Autarky, we pronounce it, autarky.
Autarky of the rash Titans, moved to whom his own fierce will is the one law, in a world where truth is not, no light and God?
No God. So she asks her daughter, she says, "Oh child, are you going to follow your egoistic desire like a titan?" Here, Aurobindo gives a kind of description of the titan. The titan is one to whom his own fierce will is the only law. No? He doesn't care whether that's the law of the truth, the law of the divine, it's his law. No? So he's ruling himself, autarky, self-rule. That's the titan. He's rash. He doesn't know what disaster he's going to bring on himself. So she said, are you going to be like that? Are you going to proclaim that law? Is that the law that you are going to follow? You're going to follow that law of the titan instead of the law of the divine, the law that is the eternal will. The titan lives in and rules a world where there's no truth, there's no light, there's no God, there's only his own will. And that's what he follows. Are you going to be like that, she says to her daughter? You're going to insist on following your own will against the right, the true, the wise law. So we'll stop there for today. We'll go back to the bottom of page 431 and we can read these lines together. Plead not thy choice, for death has made it vain. Thy youth and radiance were not born to lie. A casket void dropped on a careless soil. A choice less rare may call a happier fate. But Savitri answered from her violent heart. Her voice was calm, her face was fixed like steel. Once my heart chose, and chooses not again. The word I have spoken can never be erased. It is written in the record book of God. The truth once uttered, from the earth's air effaced, by mind forgotten, sounds immortally forever in the memory of time. Once the dice fall, thrown by the hand of fate in an eternal moment of the gods. My heart has sealed its troth to Shraddhavan. Its signature adverse fate cannot efface. Its seal not fate, nor death, nor time dissolve. Those who shall part, who have grown one being within. Death's grip can break our bodies, not our souls. If death take him, I too know how to die. Let fate do with me what she will or can. I am stronger than death, and greater than my fate. My love shall outlast the world. Doom falls from me, helpless against my immortality. Fate's law may change, but not my spirit's will. An adamant will, she cast her speech like bronze. But in the queen's mind listening, her words rang like the voice of a self-chosen doom, denying every issue of escape. To her own despair answer the mother made. As one she cried, who in her heavy heart labours amid the sobbing of her hopes, to wake a note of help from sadder strings. O child, in the magnificence of thy soul, dwelling on the border of a greater world, and dazzled by thy superhuman thoughts, thou lend'st eternity to a mortal hope. Here on this mutable and ignorant earth, who is the lover and who is the friend? All passes here, nothing remains the same. None is for any on this transient globe. He whom thou lovest now, a stranger came, and into a far strangeness shall depart. His moment's part once done upon life's stage, which for a time was given him from within, to other scenes he moves, and other players, and laughs and weeps mid faces new, unknown. The body thou hast loved is cast away amidst the brute unchanging stuff of worlds to indifferent mighty nature, and becomes crude matter for the joy of others' lives. But for our souls, upon the wheel of God for ever turning, they arrive and go, married and sundered in the magic round of the great dancer of the boundless dance. Our emotions are but high and dying notes of his wild music, changed compellingly by the passionate movements of a seeking heart in the inconstant links of hour with hour. To call down heaven's distant answering song, to cry to an unceased bliss is all we dare. Once ceased, we lose the heavenly music's sense. Too near, the rhythmic cry has fled or failed. All sweetnesses are baffling symbols here. Love dies before the lover in our breast. Our joys are perfumes in a brittle vase. Oh, then, what wreck is this upon time's sea, to spread life's sails to the hurricane desire, and call for pilot the unseeing heart? O child, wilt thou proclaim, wilt thou then follow, against the law that is the eternal will, the autarky of the rash Titan's mood, to whom his own fierce will is the one law, in a world where truth is not, nor light, nor God?